I am Lea Lachey.
And I'm Drew Lachey, and you're listening to
The Art of Kindness.
That is probably the best slate I've ever experienced because I've done these with 2, 3 people. It takes like 5 minutes to get aligned. Who's doing it?
We've been doing
Leave
it
it
a
to
long
theater
time.
people.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Art of Kindness, where we have compassionate conversations with artists from all areas of the entertainment industry who are using their voice to spread joy and make this big spinning planet in the universe a better place to be. I'm Robert Peterpaul, and I'm so glad you're here. Hello, friends. I'm here with double the kindness today as we chat with a powerhouse couple with a purpose. Now, I fully acknowledge I just labeled them a powerhouse couple, and today's conversation is all about labels, the ones we're given, and of course the ones we give ourselves. But I hope they like that label. I hope they like powerhouse. I do encourage you, friend, as you're tuning into this, so grateful you're here, to think about what you've been labeled by others and by yourself, and if it still serves you. We're going to get into that a lot more with today's guests, Drew and Lea Lachey. Drew Lachey is synonymous with boy band madness. He's a Grammy Award-winning artist from the beloved boy band 98 Degrees, which it currently feels like in my studio as I record this, the Broadway star of Rent and Spam-A-Lot, and the Season 2 winner of Dancing with the Stars. He joins his lovely wife, Lea Lachey, an acclaimed choreographer whose work spans film, television, and stage, with icons like Missy Elliott, Disney, and the Radio City Rockettes. She also worked on the film Carol with Cate Blanchett, which I do bring up, don't worry. Together, they are the beating heart behind Cincinnati-based Lachey Arts, a performing arts nonprofit built on creativity, storytelling, and sharing the joy of performance with their community. They are currently doing just that in New York City, inviting audiences into something deeply personal. Their new off-Broadway musical, Labelless, a bold and heartfelt experience that celebrates real stories, soaring music, and the beauty of what connects us beyond labels. Check out more in the show notes. I also hope you'll check us out on social media at Art of Kindness Pod and at Rob Peterpaul. We are having a positively unhinged good time on there, and I will be sharing clips from this very episode. I will also be sharing the full video episode wherever you watch video podcasts, which includes YouTube. So go on down to our YouTube channel. Whoop, whoop, we're trying to grow that. Oh, audio hug. Now, without further ado, please welcome a couple I had such a good time with. Vibes were immaculate. The dazzling Drew and Lea Lachey.
Here we go. Okay. Also, are you in a rehearsal studio?
We are in our stage manager's office.
Yeah, we're at the theater. We're
Tucked in a corner.
between shows.
Yeah.
Tucked in a corner. That's a good title for another future immersive
It is
show.
good. That is good.
But I'm so excited that you're both here. First of all, how's it been to be back in New York City and in all this energy?
Thrilling, exciting. I turned to Drew like the second night we were out walking on the street, and I'm like, nothing beats the energy of New York City. I
Yeah.
love everything about it. So I feel like I'm home. We
Oh, I
moved
love that.
here when we were 18, and then we actually bounced back and forth from LA and New York. So for us, this is like
We became
it's our
adults in New York.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's good to be back, and it's especially good to be back with, a project that we're so passionate about and so, focused on and committed to. And
Yeah.
it's just we're living our best lives right now.
Yeah, you can tell. I feel that passion and all the promos and interviews you've been doing around it. You can just feel the energy oozing. And it's making me, I can't wait to come see it. I haven't been able to come yet, but I cannot wait.
I can't wait for you to see it.
Most of all, I just want to say at the top here, I truly admire how the two of you bring empathy to the forefront of the conversation, whether it's through Labelless or as leaders at your, it sounds like such a dreamy theater in Cincinnati, Lachey Arts. So just thank you for being kind leaders and
Oh,
giving people a chance to be seen. I just wanted to say that off the top before
well,
we
Well,
thank you.
thank you. Yeah, I
start.
mean, the whole show came from an empathy exercise. So that's kind of where the focus of it started, 8 years ago, and that's what we try and lead with, and we try and open our hearts as much as we can, and try and learn from other people and listen, and just try and absorb what people are going through,
Mhm.
so that we
Yeah.
try and, put ourselves in their shoes, and I think that's what we try and teach as
Yes.
teachers, it's
Oh,
what we
yeah.
try and
Yeah.
promote as directors,
Yeah.
and it's what we're trying to, really kind of have the world, take away from label us, is that, we're all a
Mm.
lot more alike than we are different. If we're able to just kind of walk a mile in each other's shoes, the world will be a much better place.
Mhm.
Yeah, well said. And I think it's
Yeah.
the perfect thing to discuss as we discuss kindness here. And looking at what you absorb, I wonder how you both absorb compliments. That's one of the first questions I like to start asking.
Oh,
Because
well,
I
can I answer for Drew? Drew's
absolutely,
not
we
going
can
to take a
swap.
compliment. I love a compliment.
Okay, I
No,
love that.
I think that, it's interesting. I feel like, and especially getting that question right now during this process, it's hard, right? I mean, like, it's hard to not be critical of every single thing,
Mm,
and we're constantly looking at the show and nitpicking, and like Drew said, you want the audience to lean in and react and have empathy from what you're doing on stage. And so, you're fine
yeah.
tuning it all the time. And actually, one of my close friends was just at the afternoon show, and she said, "It's beautiful. Relax."
Oh,
And then you breathe a little bit. So
yeah.
I like those reminders,
Yeah, but
right?
Yeah.
just in general,
But in
compliments.
general, Drew does not. He just doesn't take it well,
No, I don't.
right?
I don't.
It's tricky.
Yeah,
It's
it is
tricky,
tricky.
right? Because it
Yeah.
is sort of also about the other person, right? Even though
Mhm.
they're saying things about you, it's about like their experience coming up
Yes.
maybe as a fan or even a friend or a family
Hmm.
member. Like they want you to hear it. And so it
Yeah.
can be a tricky dance when in your head alarm
Yes.
bells are going off and you're like, I don't feel that way. But
Wait a minute.
Well, I
yeah,
think especially like, as performers, I think we're always, hypercritical of ourselves. It's our own performance. We're always going to be our worst critic. So people might be like, "Oh, this was great." And then I'm thinking, "All right, I missed that note. I missed that step. Oh, I wasn't as committed to this, scene as I should have been."
yeah,
So in my brain, I'm always kind of like over analyzing myself, and trying to I mean, I wanna do the best possible job I can. So if
Mhm.
I feel like
mm,
I haven't accomplished that, then I'm always gonna be like,
yeah.
"Ah, but I didn't do this right," you know?
Yeah,
That's
I
just where
totally
my
I
get
brain
get
that.
that.
works.
I get that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sincerely get that. I do think we talk about this a little bit on here without going too far into the dark tunnel of AI, but I think that's what makes us human, right? It's like AI
Yes.
isn't going to have those mistakes. That's
Yep.
why I love going to the theater. It's like
Yep.
when
Yes.
the lamp breaks and they have to kind of like vamp
Yeah.
until they can take it off to the stage, whatever it is,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and we've all been in those moments, which are super
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
But
Yes, we have.
I want to ask you about those and so much more. I guess to set some context, though, I would really love to know, Drew and Leah, what is your definition of kindness and how do you think it's kind of evolved over the years?
I think for me, I think it's meeting people on a common ground, right? Like seeing people for who they truly are. And
Mm,
then I can also tell you, just as like a mother, a friend, a wife, a creator, I think listening more is a really big one for me. I think that helps
mm,
you open your heart and be kinder, as a whole, because you're not just talking over someone or getting
mm.
your point across. You're having that empathy, like we were saying, and listening. I think that helps. That helps me.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
agree.
heavy question, though.
That
I
is
mean, like
heavy.
like,
It's a
kind
big
like
one.
Yeah,
like, you think
big.
like, "Oh, what is the actual definition of kindness?" But I think, you know,
I've had one or two people pull up the Webster
Webster said
definition,
Oh
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
all right, that's
It
if that's what it means to you, that's cool.
no, to me, I feel like going through life with an open heart.
Mm.
If you're always going through life with an open heart, you're always open to learning. You're always open to, identifying what someone else is going through, trying to give them um, a,
Mm,
a better day. I feel like those are the things. Like it could be going through the drive-through and a simple compliment.
Oh
To
yeah.
me,
yeah,
those are like
yeah.
a friend of mine says. it costs you nothing to be nice. And I feel like that's just a good way to go through life. There is no cost to it, but what you
Yeah.
get in return is priceless. So why would you not
Why would you not do that?
yeah, why would you not wanna go
Yeah.
through life that way? But I think just leading with an open heart and being open to, meeting people where they are, receiving what they have, and then trying to improve their day,
Mm.
to me, that's like the ultimate kindness.
Yeah.
That's beautiful because kindness is free. We work with an awesome organization called Kindness is Free, which I think you just hit the nail on the head about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of kindness, label this. We've mentioned it, but we got to get into this musical experience that gets real about the challenges we all face in today's world and
Mhm.
ultimately how we share humanity and how we can reconnect. And I just think this is such a kindness that you're doing for the theater world and, of course, audiences. And
Mhm.
you mentioned it all started 8 years ago while you were leading an empathy exercise. But can we just break that down for our
Period.
listeners and for this little Muppet over here? Because what a beautiful way to start a journey.
I think, well, we'll go all the way back. So 8 years
Start at
ago,
the very
start at the very
beginning.
beginning.
Drew,
Um,
I can't tell you how many times I've sung that on the podcast. So like, I'm like, let's start. And sometimes it lands. Sometimes it's like,
People are
okay,
like,
bye.
"What?"
Let's
You're
you're
speaking
outta
my
here,
language.
Get out,
Yeah.
go. No, 8 years ago, an empathy exercise in a theater class that we were leading at the School for Creative and Performing Arts, which is a school actually that we attended, 4th through
Mm,
12th grade. We are proud alumni.
Yes.
So we were leading the musical theater program, and it was just a simple exercise. We had all the students write down how they were not feeling seen on pieces of paper, which we still have.
oh,
And we did not know who said what. That night, we laid them out on the kitchen counter, looked at them, cried, thought, oh my goodness, like these are students that we see every single day. We had no idea that they were going through these things. Everything from stories, sexism, racism, homophobia, mental health, you name it, they were
mm,
laid out on our kitchen counter. And from that, honestly, we kind of sat with them for a minute, and then
Yeah, so she's being humble right now. She had the idea to basically create a show. What better way to give a voice to people who felt like they didn't have a voice than
mm,
putting them on stage and giving them this platform where they could,
Mhm.
address these things that are going on in their lives. And it started off with like 16 cover songs and
Yeah.
like we found poetry online and had some other students write some stuff and it was just kind of like, all right, this is going to be,
A show
a
though,
show. Yeah.
like a show in the high school. Like it wasn't like
mm.
I said, let's do a show and take it to Broadway. It was like little steps. And
Mm,
we didn't really foresee us sitting right now here talking to you. So I think, we led with love, the courage and bravery of those students in that first class that gave us permission to kind of dig a little bit deeper into those
mm,
topics. Um, and over the 8 years, it has truly evolved.
yeah.
You learn a lot of valuable lessons as creators. You go down one path, it doesn't work, you pull back, you go down another. You hear a lot of no's, you hear a lot of yeses. We've had the show in proscenium style theaters, we've had it in black boxes, we've had it on the road, we've had it in a warehouse space. So we were able
Mm,
to kind of see what worked, what didn't. And I think the through line is that people reacted to it because it was authentic. It was
mm,
real. It was true stories. And I love nothing more than sitting in an audience as the creator of the show and actually watching the audience more than
yeah.
what's going on stage. That lean in, that connection is like no other. And
Mm,
I think creating art, like clearly we love to choreograph and direct and do all these things, and we've been doing it our whole life. But to create something that creates change and
mm,
gets people to think, there's nothing like it. I mean, nothing even comes close to this in our careers.
Yeah, I
wow.
think for us, it's like, people talk about like the ripple effect, that pebble that gets dropped in the water and
Yeah.
the ripple effect. I feel like this show has that effect. It has the ripple effect. Like
Mm,
people leave the theater and they feel a little bit less weighted, they feel a little less judgmental, they feel a little less judged, they feel seen,
mm,
and that does have a ripple effect. People go out into the
yeah.
world and they carry that with them. So I think for us, that initial acting exercise where it's like, all right, how are we going to get these, high schoolers to, empathize with this character or this role? And,
Mhm.
well, let's put it in real terms. Um,
Yeah.
that literally
Work.
led
Yeah.
to, 8 years later, the show, with now mostly original music and monologues that are true to the cast that's in it now. It really is just this authentic piece of, you know, a theatrical
Mm,
experience because it's
Yeah.
part concert, part theater,
Yeah.
you
It's
know, that
different.
that
it
affects
really
people.
is. Part
Yeah.
ethnodrama even. I mean, the way you derived it is it's so
Mhm.
different and ultimately just rooted in so much love, and there is science behind what you were just talking about, Drew. Like, it's not just on a home goods pillow. It really does have that ripple effect. Kindness is
Yeah.
contagious, and
Yeah.
I know you're inspiring so many people with this show. I wonder, in looking at bringing different artists together, and I'm not sure if you had a traditional even audition process for this or how that worked, and I'm sure you didn't, but you've both worked on so many projects from this to stage to screen. I guess overall, I'm wondering, what is your advice on how we can all let our walls down and sort of walk into a space and be our truest selves? Like, if I'm going to the show and there's a box outside and I'm leaving my story in afterward,
Mhm.
how do you think I can kind of get to that place? I know it's a big loaded
And
question,
that's a big yeah.
but
Yeah,
you've
I
seen it
think
happen. So I wonder your
Yeah.
Yeah,
observations.
I think
Yeah.
for me, the biggest thing is, people find safety in not feeling alone. They find solace in feeling like they're seen, that they are not going through this situation or, carrying this label by themselves. I feel like so for people that come to our show, they're dealing with, depression or whether they're, struggling to come out to their family or things like that. You know, there are people in the show that are literally telling their story of how that affects them too. And to
Mm,
know that you're not alone, that you are seen, that you have value, that you are not, just this one person on an island floating through this world on your own. You have people that see you, that will support you, that will help lift you up. I feel like that's what this show is able to do for a lot of people.
mm,
Um, and it does sound like, oh, this is like, oh, we're preachy.
Yeah.
This
I was gonna
show is
say.
yeah.
it's entertaining,
Mhm.
it's uplifting, it's heartbreaking, it's joyful, it's celebratory.
It's life.
Yeah, it is
Mm,
Yeah.
all these
the
things in
life
one show.
genre.
And I feel like, at the end of the day, we all want to be seen. And I feel like
Mm.
this show sees people, and it makes the audience feel seen.
It's so true. I think that's the most
Yeah.
beautiful act of kindness. And I do wonder, in regards to acts of kindness, how has it shown up during this process, bringing the show to New York City? What
Oh my
what
goodness.
acts of kindness come to mind? I'm sure there are many, but between you and your beautiful company.
I I mean, I feel like we're blown away every day, to be honest. Besides the audience getting up and being speechless afterwards and having to find someone in the show or on the crew or on the creative team to connect with, to be like, I feel this way. It's like they have to get it out. I
Mm,
have to say our cast, our creative team, everyone involved. I mean, this is a passion project. So there's kindness woven through this entire makeup of the show. Um, the cast, I was saying earlier today, they're good people. And
yeah.
and I would like to think that they each kind of bring that out in each other, but then I look at them individually and they care. They care about the world, they care about humanity. Um, and it's the simple things. Holding a door for someone, right? Being
Yeah.
kind, saying thank you. I love just kind of listening to their banter every once in a while. They lift each other up. They give each other compliments. It's
Mm,
it's not a typical, it's just not a typical environment, I'd
We
say.
yeah.
actually have a board outside of
Oh,
our theater,
yeah.
where it's, little notes, little Post-its that the cast has written notes on, little things that are meaningful to them or little words of encouragement. And so audience members can come by and they can take a note and then they
Mm,
can leave a note back for cast members. So we've seen everything from, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for making me feel like I'm not alone. Things like that. And the cast are
It's
literally
so
just
fun.
writing it like, "We love you. You're the best.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you're beautiful. Like, live your truth." And sometimes people just need
that.
that permission
Yeah.
Yes.
to love
That is
themselves, to
amazing.
Mhm.
be themselves, and to know that that's okay, and they're allowed to be who they
Who they are.
are at
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you two have just accomplished one of my lifelong goals, which is infusing kindness on Broadway. I want every theater to
Oh.
have that. Like
So do I.
I know, or like like you can leave a video compliment for someone if you can't
Yeah.
wait the stage door, whatever it is. Like there's a
Yeah.
Ring doorbell that you leave a
Yes.
message. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
that is, I think that is so special and beautiful, and
Yeah.
speaks to probably the magic sauce of the show. Right? It's just that
Mhm.
you're creating this environment, and you said, Leah, like it's not typical, but I just, why can't it be? Why
That's
can't
what
we?
I say. Why
Yeah,
can't it be like that? Why can't the rehearsal process, the tech week, why can't we love on each other? And yes, there's gonna be stress. Come on. Like
In
we
Tech
were
Week?
in tech week.
No,
I
come
know.
on.
right. I mean,
But I
that's when
I
you bring
feel
each other
like
you have a candy. You take a little
yes,
nap in the
yes,
back.
Yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah.
we try to, again, lead with love and humor and lift each other up because nobody wants to come and work in an environment, right? That's
Yo.
toxic or they feel low in it. Like so we do. We try to implement that.
And you
Mm.
you talked a little bit, you asked a little bit about, like, the audition process, and
Oh, yeah.
it's not
It's not
it's
typical
not
audition
it's not
process.
normal. So the show was created in 2018, and there's 4 people in the cast right now that have been with it since 2018.
Mm. That's
There
so
was
beautiful.
there's another group that have been with it, another
Another
6 years.
yeah,
There's some that just joined
3
it last
years.
year. There's
Yep, yep.
8 that are brand new to it. And I feel
Mm.
like what is special is there is while everyone wants to do their best, everybody wants to, "Ooh, watch this run, watch this, watch me do this, watch me, make this dance move," whatever. There
Yeah.
is also a solidarity to what is the overall message of the show.
Mm.
And we constantly are saying, like, whatever choice you're making, make sure it is advancing the story and the message of the
Mhm,
show.
mhm.
If just
Mm.
because you can doesn't mean you should, and so, like,
Yeah.
what's that choice that you're making? How is that going to get the audience to connect to you more? It is possible to outsing a song. So
Mhm.
let's
True.
just sit back. Let's let the song work for you. Um,
Yeah.
and it really is just kind of this great situation where people are like, okay, you ate, okay, and they
Yeah,
do-
yeah, yeah.
they do
Oh,
this
they do the
thing.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
We
oh,
like
yeah. Oh, yes.
what
Yes.
is it? Is this like the
I
king and I?
know.
Is this?
no.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
you
there's
know?
also this. This is like the new
Oh
heart.
yes, the
Oh,
heart,
yes,
the heart.
yes.
There,
Kiwi taught me that the other
we
day.
get lots of these
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Can I share something with you?
Oh, please do.
This cast okay, so every time we start a phase of the show, there are new people that join, and we always sit up at the top the top of the whole entire process, and we say, "You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see the connection. It'll feel different." And that the new people are kinda like, "Yeah, okay. Okay."
Yeah.
And then I think it was 5 days into rehearsal this time with this New York cast, and it clicked. And we
Mm.
were about, I don't know, maybe 2/3 through the run of a show, and it all just happened. It's like there's a joyfulness, there's an opening of the heart,
Mm.
and they even say it themselves, they're like, "I've never experienced anything like this." The love that we get from the audience, the love that we get from each other, and that's what makes the show work.
Yeah. That's really beautiful. I
I
keep
think
wanting to
so.
sing "Love lifts us up where we belong" because you
That's
guys
what
keep
it's
saying "lifts us
cue
up."
cue that.
Yeah, love
But
is
it's so
up
true.
where
Where
Yeah.
we belong. Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know
yes.
why I sounded like a cracked out Cher, but that's my problem, and I'll figure that out later. But I wonder because it's so special and magical that y'all are doing this, and all of you together are holding space for these stories, and it's also true that that's a lot. So I do wonder how you're kind to yourselves
Mm.
or to each other as a couple. Like, how does that show up? Because it's so necessary,
Yeah, we've been married for 25 years, so we're not kind to each other
That
anymore.
is not true. No,
right?
we
You're
we
past
do
the
have
7-year itch, and you're in the 25-year
yeah,
bitch.
thanks,
Sorry, I don't know what that
thanks.
means. Okay.
Um, we do set as many boundaries as we can, obviously, as a married couple. Like, they're a little out the window right now just because we're, opening tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Um, but it is
Congratulations.
important, thank you. It is important to, not wake up and discuss it right away and to be able to kind of see each other. Drew made a point to say to the cast a couple days ago, some of these topics that we're talking about on stage are heavy and they have weight.
Mm,
You have to check in. You have to take care of yourself. And if you need to name that for that night, right? And you need to put it in a place so that you can protect your heart. Um,
mm.
because some of those monologues are intense and they're brave and they're going out there and sharing those stories and it is important to check in on everybody.
I will say
Mm.
though that, we have to be kind to ourselves, but this
Oh, yeah.
show and this situation brings us such joy and happiness being a part of it that
Yeah.
it's not. Yes, does it run our lives right now? Absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, but in a way that brings us such joy and makes us feel so
Yeah.
fortunate and lucky that we're in this position. I mean, we're surrounded by, great people. We get to tell stories. We know that this show is impacting people's lives. So it's not like, oh my goodness,
I gotta go do
I'm gonna
this.
go sling
Yeah.
trash today and you're
Yep.
gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yep. Yep.
We're doing something that brings us such joy, and we're very passionate about it. So,
Yeah.
I feel like if we weren't doing this, then we would have to be taking care of ourselves because we'd be missing it
That's
so
a good
much.
I
point.
get that.
That is a good
Yeah.
point.
That's
Yeah.
a great point. Because even, I mean, I know I'm the most hydrated when I'm in the show. I prioritize rest when I'm in a show. I mean, I will say it's kind of funny. I went to a chiropractor once when I was in Kinky Boots, and we had the treadmills,
Conveyor belts, yeah.
and
Oh,
you roll off it,
yes.
whatever. And I kept doing this move, and I like had hurt my back, like a little scab bruise, whatever. He was like,
Yeah.
"What did you do?" And I told him. He's like, "Well, why did you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing it over and over again?" I was like, "Because I'm in the theater." So it's
That's
kind
what
of
you have to.
it's like you don't feel any of that, and you're so right. It is such a collective awe, happiness, kindness,
Yeah.
and I love the title "Labelless." Speaking of nesses, I guess, because
Mhm.
it brings up to me something I always wonder about, and I would just love both of your thoughts on, which is that labels, they can make us feel so seen, right? And yet they can also limit us. And so, what do you think is the difference between a label that helps us understand ourselves versus one that limits us?
Yeah, so I think the title of the show is twofold.
Yeah.
As humans, we need to label less. We need to go through lives labeling less. But it
Mm,
also is a badge that you can say that I am labelless. I'm not defined by any one thing. I am a you
But
know,
I'm
I'm
proud of who
I'm
I am.
yes,
Yeah.
and we even
yeah.
say that, like, in our
Yeah.
intro of the show, like, these labels, they can be a source of pride and community, but they're also can be a source of violence and hate.
Mm.
So I feel like intention intentionality is the key to everything. It's like, what is your intention with this label? But well, I
Mm,
am X, Y, and Z. Well, by me identifying as X, Y, and Z, is that making myself a better person? Is that making me more receptive to different people? And I think that's kind of what the show is all about. Is yes, we all have our labels, we all have our badges, we all have our
Yeah.
our things that we carry,
mm,
but we can't be locked into that because when you're locked into that, then you are limited. Like you're saying, you're shutting yourself off to so many different opportunities and potential wonder in the world by not being open to expanding who you are. You're never too
yeah.
locked in to add another add another label. Oh, I'm a
Mm,
free thinker. Oh, what do you
Yeah.
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a
Well
lover.
said.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Those are labels that you want to carry. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're so right. I just had the image too of carrying things. It's like, well, we found out we're having our first baby, you guys, but carrying a
Ah!
baby, it's like,
Congratulations.
That's a
thanks.
big thing.
Not about me. But carrying the baby, it's like, if you always carry the baby, they'll never grow up. So I don't know. That was a clunky,
Yeah.
weird metaphor I felt the need to share. But
Yeah.
I'm very curious about how you put all these stories into movement
Mm,
because
mm.
I'm sure it was a different collaborative process in that sense as well.
Well,
The
Your
way
eyes
we
said it all.
collaborated was I got out of the way. That's the way we collaborated on
it's
it.
not true, but it's
Well, I know we have Leah in the house. Yeah.
I feel like, with the stories in particular, to go way back, it started as poetry because that's how we saw it
Mm,
visually. And then it kind of changed into real life stories. And then from that, choreography is, my other language. I mean, it's my church, it's my religion, it's therapy for me. And
yeah.
so I feel like once I really fully understood a story, it was just important for the movement to have breath and for people to be connected to that, because I think storytelling is the music, the
Mm.
monologues, and the choreography. I think it all goes hand in hand, and it's just this, like, Labelist to me is this beautifully woven story from beginning to end. And I hope the audiences watch it and feel like they don't even know where it started and where it ended, right? Like they
Mm.
don't even know that someone is about to go into a big number, or
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Those are the things I like, things to be seamless, the
Yeah,
transitions to be
yeah.
Yeah.
impeccable. Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing, like, yes, are they performers and are they performing? Yes, but it is not performative.
No.
It is not,
Yeah.
come on, my baby, come on. It is very much internalized. Like the audience
Yeah.
comes to them where they are.
Mhm.
They don't have to go out and, beat the audience over the head with this song. It's literally they are so vulnerable on stage that the audience,
Mm.
like, you literally can see the audience just lean in,
I know it's
and they
Mm.
are just locked
That's so
into
cool.
what they're saying and the stories they're telling. And, we don't talk politics, we don't talk religion, because literally if you talk any of those, you lose half the audience instantly.
Smart. Yeah, that's
What we
very
do is
smart.
we talk truth and
Yeah.
we talk love and we talk humanity.
Yeah.
And I think
Mm.
everybody at their core can understand those languages and can agree with those.
Yeah.
So that's what the show is. And her choreography does this wonderful job of elevating a song, elevating a storyline to a way that, it really just, it could not have any lyrics, it could not have any monologue with it whatsoever, but the choreography just speaks to your heart and tells that story.
Mm.
We say this all the time. Carol Burnett said it, and I
Uh,
mean, yeah, clearly she probably said it on your show.
Oh,
You know,
I blacked out.
I would have too.
I would've.
It's
Yeah, I
they
don't know
won't
what you
remember
said.
what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
that is something that we carry with Labelist very much at the core. Like, the
Yeah.
show is all about how the audience feels.
Yeah.
And her choreography just brings that to the forefront.
Mm.
Thanks,
And
Drew.
Oh,
it's
that's so
beautiful. It's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Compliments. Here we go. Taking compliments left and right, giving them
Uh,
it almost feels like, and again, I can't wait to see it. So correct me if I'm wrong, but was a chorus line a bit of an inspiration as well, which is like
okay, it's so funny
one of
because,
my favorite
I
shows
mean,
ever.
first of all,
It sounds
iconic,
so
and
different,
what
but
a
just like
compliment, right? Like,
yeah.
we're getting a lot of comparisons to Chorus Line mixed with a little bit of Rent. We had Hamilton
Mm.
in there the other day, which I was like, I mean, all
Oh,
of them,
okay.
bow down.
That's
Somebody said
yeah.
Godspell.
Yeah, it's here's the thing though, it wasn't that we set out any way, shape, or form with any of those shows in mind,
For
but I
sure.
do think that it's very interesting when people say those shows, because those are the shows that speak to us the most. So I think it's
Mm.
interesting that maybe we did kind of gravitate towards a feeling like that or a vibe like that. Um,
Mm.
Chorus Line, I think, is clearly the connection of the real stories and how Chorus
Mm.
Line was created, and that each, cast member and labelist steps forward and tells a story. But yeah, I mean, utmost compliment.
I, I
I'm floored by that all the time.
I will say that, I did Chorus Line
You
recently,
did Rent
and
and a chorus line.
I
Yes,
did,
you
I
Yeah.
did.
were you were Zach.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
And
You know
just,
that.
oh, it's great. Like hearing Paul's monologue every night was
Mhm.
so moving. Like Diego, the actor that was portraying Paul, I was like, I would just sit back and watch. I was like, just,
Mm.
That's
I
really
felt like a great scene partner. All I had to do was like feed a couple lines and then they just went off. But
Yeah.
for me, take that
mm,
and know that it was that person's true authentic story.
yeah,
It
Yeah.
just magnifies everything that they're saying, and
Yeah.
it's not a story from 1975. It is a story from 2026 that they're telling.
Yeah.
So people can
And
connect
we
to it
need
in a
that.
way that is very, very tangible and real in the moment. But all those shows
Yeah.
you said, they're all based around community. They're all based
Yeah.
around a group of friends, a group of people, that are trying to navigate the world together. Whether it's
Mm.
us as performers, whether it is, this community and, Lower Manhattan that's trying to navigate classism and
yeah,
Yeah.
HIV and
yeah,
drugs and
yeah,
all this stuff, or whether, it's the founding fathers, there's always this
Mm.
sense of community and connection. So for us to be compared to any one of those shows, is a huge, huge honor because
It's like a pinch me moment.
that's what we want our show to
Yay.
do.
Yeah.
We want
Mm.
our show to feel like a United Colors of Benetton ad.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
and then we have to say that to the cast it's right over their head, and we're like, we are old.
Well, speaking of Carol Burnett, someone asked me the other day what one of my favorite interviews was, and I said that. They were like, "Oh, who's that?" And I was like,
shame on them.
No, see, that is
it
unacceptable.
happens a lot with the younger generation. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy to me, and I hope no one feels that way about a chorus line. But this brings up a question I had for you later on. I'm just going to say while we're here, it's about being community makers because you're both community makers, and I think that's one of the most important things to be in this time. And I'm curious about your, I guess, philosophy or thoughts on how to create these safe spaces because you're leading them.
Right.
Are there things you're doing that are tangible that you're aware of that you wish other people would do? Which we kind of talked about at the top, but
Well, I think it's interesting as educators. I mean, we can look back on situations that we were a part of, right, as young 20 somethings, and I talk about this a lot with friends that are teachers and choreographers in the business now. It's important to still train and have a specific work ethic and a respect in the room. But I think we are very aware of being open to everyone feeling safe. And I think
mm,
that dialogue is different than how it was in my 20s. I mean, in my 20s, it was like, you're going to do this and you're going to get on that floor. And so I think that, you know, we have multiple conversations with our cast and a check-in. And I don't think that was happening at all
mm,
back in the day. So
Yeah.
I feel like that changes the environment, and it's
yeah,
really important for us to pass that baton to this next generation of artists. So when we're talking about
mm,
Lachey Arts and teaching, you know, we want to lift them up and empower them so that they can continue to pass it on and educate and
mm,
choreograph and direct. And one of my dreams is 20 years from now to be able to sit in the audience of you know cast member that's in there now watching their show debut on
yeah.
Off-Broadway. Like
Oh,
that's
I love that.
important to me. I feel strongly about that.
I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful. A theater teacher doesn't have to be someone wearing a scarf in black and saying sassy, mean comments. You know what I mean? We
Yes,
can change the
exactly.
like. But sorry,
Yeah.
Drew, you were going to say something.
No, I was gonna say when we first started teaching, we went into it and there was like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Lachey, and we were like, no, we're Drew and Leah. We don't want to come in here like, all right, we're teaching you. We're fellow performers. We just
Yeah.
have more experience. So let us share the experiences that we've had. And we can like kind of guide and hopefully,
And it
get
works.
and do away with
Mm,
the sink or swim mentality.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
let us give you let us be your life preserver. Like if you're out there, like use the words, use the experience, use the guidance to help give you some buoyancy so that you aren't feeling like you're drowning at the deep end of this industry or of a performance. Like, and I feel like our
Now that's a good metaphor. That's a good
thank you.
metaphor.
Thank you.
Everyone, if you're keeping
He
score,
loves
that's a
the
good one.
metaphor.
Yeah. But I do love a good metaphor.
He
Um,
does.
Me too.
but I do feel like our cast is we said this all the time. Like you bring in new cast members to a show, you never know how it's going to
No.
mix.
Mm-mm.
But I
Yeah.
do feel like our cast is so full of love and compassion and vulnerability that they support each other. They give each other that buoyancy. They are each other's life preservers. They are on stage.
Mm,
Um, and I do think that there is some, leading by example. Like I've used to go into
yeah.
class all the time. They're like, yo, I just auditioned for
Oh, yes.
whatever. I auditioned for the original cast of Kinky Boots. And I went in there and it was Cyndi Lauper and Harvey. And I
Oh
went
my
in
gosh.
and I
Oh
was
my gosh.
allergy season and my voice was all kinds of messed
Yeah.
up. And Harvey goes, you're a little bit raspy.
Yeah.
I said, and so being the smart ass that I am, I said, coming from you, I'll take this as a compliment.
There you go.
Yes. And then,
And then
but I bombed the audition clearly because I wasn't Charlie till much later when I was too old to be Charlie. And then
No.
I go back and I share that story about how I literally just blew up this audition. And they were like, oh, well,
you're like human. Yeah.
he can do it.
Yeah.
And so we would share
Life.
life experiences.
Yeah.
And I feel like showing that vulnerability also allows them to feel safe and comfortable and
Yeah.
know that they're not going to be judged or scrutinized. They're just going to be encouraged and
Mhm.
lifted up.
I also have to share this. Leading to me is not yelling. Leading, right, is leading by example. And
Yeah.
so if you are leading with kindness in the room and you're lifting people up, the entire room is going to meet you there, as opposed to being that typical back in the day teacher where you're going in and you're like, I'm
Mhm.
going to make you do this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that backfires. Like
Mhm.
nobody is going to listen. I feel strongly about that. I want to
Yeah.
empower them. So
I agree. And you also learn as the teacher from the students every time if
absolutely,
you're doing it right, you know? So I
absolutely.
think that's a beautiful mentality. And even just this half hour, like y'all just have such good vibes and like you would just be so fun to be around.
I am. She is not. She's
Okay. You know, Drew, I didn't want to say, but
you
I
picked
Oh,
up on
appreciate
that.
you.
Leah is wild.
Yeah. You know what? Robert's wild too. I'm looking at a puppet over there. Should I whip it up?
Robert.
But I appreciate you not keeping your audition stories on the DL. See what I did there? The DL.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sorry.
I like
I
that.
just
yeah.
had to
Good for
squeeze it
that.
in. No, that was
It's
also bad.
good.
But
Good.
I did, speaking of corny, whip up a random game that I'm calling Behind the Label. It's a
Oh,
flash round, and
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'm
let's see
nervous.
if this works. Tell me,
Yeah.
yeah, tell me if it's crazy because I literally probably blacked out. I'm going to throw out a label that you two could wear, and you please name a misconception that you think is attached to it. So this
Okay.
is like
Okay.
for me a way to like shed the labels, if that
Oh
makes
gosh.
sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and we can alternate or you can both take them, whatever works.
Okay.
But
Okay.
feel free to pop in. Okay, here we go. Ding ding ding. Leader. Well, you just kind of
Uh,
answered that one, but
bossy.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah. I would say like there's
yeah.
the misconception that to lead you have to be bossy and
Mhm,
rigid.
mhm.
Whereas I feel like vulnerable
Is the way to go.
and with kindness
Yep.
is the way to go.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think so too. Couldn't agree more. Actually, there's research that shows kind leaders are better leaders. Okay.
I know.
Dreamer. What about that?
Oh, I think like wishy-washy. Like like not a lot of goals.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
I feel like people that are labeled as dreamers, it's also labeled as can't focus,
Mhm.
can't irresponsible.
Mhm.
I feel like
Mm,
those are terms. But I feel like, you know, also our friend Dr. Dan Doherty wrote this book about the being a leader. And he said Leah owns the label or dreamer, uh, owns the label
I own
dreamer.
it. I own
And
it.
I kind of reject it
mm,
because of my own preconceived ideas about what dreamer means. And I go more with going for the goal. So
mm.
you replace the word dream
If
and
you just
goal,
replace the word,
I feel like
Yeah.
we can all be a lot more
dreamer
of
life.
dreamers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nerves versus excitement, I guess, in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
way. That's brilliant. Please
Yeah.
send me that book. I got to read that
Oh,
Of
book.
we will.
course.
We will.
But that actually brings up one that I didn't have on here, but I guess I should bring up. Otherwise, my aunt will probably murder me, which is not kind. Don't do that, aunt. Which is winner. Like you won Dancing with the Stars, so like winner. What about that label?
Um, well, first of all, I've I've won at life. I feel very fortunate in everything.
True. That's
So
really
I
sweet.
think I think that's the biggest thing. I think, I don't really know what winner.
I don't either. That's a hard one.
Yeah, because I feel like it's in order to have success, you know, to win at something, you have to show
You know, to work hard.
responsibility
Yeah.
and you have to focus and a
Yeah.
work ethic. So I think there is a arrogance that can come with being a winner
Mm-hmm.
that you
Hmm.
don't necessarily need to carry. Like, oh, I sold this many records. I've won this.
Hmm.
I feel like that arrogance is the negative
Yes.
connotation of winner.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone should apologize for success that they've worked hard to achieve.
Me neither.
Oh, that's great.
Me
Yeah.
neither. Yeah.
Well, you too, I mean, you've obviously won it so much, and then you've worked with people like Kate Blanchett. I mean, I was reading both
That
of your
was a
resumes. I was like, what
moment,
am I going to ask them?
Robert.
They're so
That
that
was
was
a
what?
moment.
That is was that on Carol?
Yes,
Okay.
Carol. Yeah, it was amazing. She's
Oh
dreamy.
my gosh.
Yeah.
She seems so dreamy, but
Yeah.
that even just comes to mind because it's like in the headlines, that's how we label people, right? Like you
Yes.
go to listen to a podcast, it's like Academy Award winner, Oscar winner. It's not like,
I know. I know.
dad, mom, or kind human. It's like
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
what we put the emphasis on. So It's,
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
interesting to me.
I think people too, like just going off of a winner. I think sadly in our society right now, people want to knock winners down. And I'm like, why do we do that? Like it's almost like
Yeah.
it makes us not me, I hope I'm not doing that, but makes people feel better. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why? And then it's going back to that kindness. Like say something nice. Why are you knocking other people down that have worked hard
I
to get to
I
that
will say
position?
this, I feel
Yeah.
like another negative with winner is that it's implying that everybody that isn't that person is a
Is a
loser.
loser.
Yeah.
You know,
Well said.
you know,
True.
Yeah.
everybody can be winners, it doesn't one person's success doesn't have to negate somebody else's success.
Mhm.
You know, the rising tide raises all ships.
I agree.
Mm.
So, I'm not ever Jerry Rice was the runner up on Dance with the Stars. I'm never going to go to Jerry Rice, who is a Hall of Famer, the best wide receiver of all time, and be like, Jerry, you're a loser. You know, that's,
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
Jerry is a loser.
that's not the way it works. I mean, I feel like just because one person is having success doesn't mean
Yes.
other people around aren't as well. And we have to, poo poo on
Definitely.
Knock them
other people.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I could go down so many rabbit holes about this, even just the way it makes you feel about yourself. But the
Yeah.
truth is, if you're on a show like that, or if like the both of you producing a show in New York City, you've
Mhm.
already won. And I think you won because you've extra kind. This is supposed to be a flash round. My listeners know my flash rounds are like
Oh,
tangent left,
sorry.
tangent right.
Sorry, we
No, it's
ruined the
me.
flash round.
It's me. No, it's
Sorry.
literally me. I am the problem. I do this every time. I'm like, "Beep, beep." But the next word here is choreographer. So what about
Mhm.
that label?
Well, I don't feel like I can't just say like a word. I think a lot of
And you
times
don't have to.
well, I think choreographer is on my box right now. I think a lot of times people overlook them. I feel like they aren't given credit where credit is due. They're telling
Mhm.
a story with movement, and I think a lot of times if you look, it's way down at the bottom. And so I think it would be nice for all choreographers to be recognized in that way.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people like to do that horrible thing where they're like, "Oh, that's just the dance." And I'm
Mm.
like, "Just the dance?" I mean, like,
Yeah.
what? What does that even mean?
Clutching her
I'm
pearls.
like, ugh.
No, because it's like
So
the whole show in a musical, especially. It's like sometimes it's actually the scenes. I
right,
mean,
right.
and also just the dance is yeah. Sorry, I don't
Yeah.
like that.
No, I don't
I'm
like
not.
that
I'm
either.
gonna
I don't like
no,
that.
but that was great to say that. I
Yeah.
wonder about another loaded one is parent. What about the label parent?
I think parent is I think it's a very important one.
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends. Like
Uh,
I want the love, I want the respect, I want all those things, and that goes both ways.
mhm.
But I do think it is important for a parent to be a leader, to
Mm.
lead through example, to lead through compassion, to lead with love, to do all these things that we were just talking about. The same thing with leaders. I feel like a parent is the ultimate leader. You
Yep.
are
Yeah.
leading
Yep.
this family. You are grooming this life to go out into the world. What better kind of leadership role can any person have than by
Mm.
shaping this young person's life?
So
Remember that,
true.
Robert, as you're
I
Remember,
know. Well,
Robert,
I'm
I'll
taking
listen.
that in right now. I'm like, I need y'all to write a book so I can read the book and have it at my nightstand when I'm not sleeping.
Oh,
The
you're gonna be
last one
sick.
here is pop star
No, God.
because I
Oh,
know
God.
that's no. I mean, I know that's like a label that's going to be with you
Well,
your whole life.
I
I mean,
well,
there's worse things.
there are
There's
worse
there's
things.
worse
No, there's
labels.
it's great.
There
You
Yeah,
could
are
be
worse
soda
things.
pop star. You're just drinking Coke all day. I don't know.
I feel like in a lot of ways it's limiting. While I
Mm.
am very, very proud of what 98 Degrees was able to do and the records we sold and the fun that we've had and the friends we made and all these wonderful things, I am I am so much more proud um, of what we're doing right now
Yeah,
than any of those records.
yeah,
Am I thankful and appreciative of that time and the fans and all that? Of course, absolutely. They have made me into the man that I am now. But I honestly feel like if you say, "Oh, a pop star," it's like, "Oh,
Oh, yeah.
can kind of sing, can
Yeah.
kind of dance, lip
Mm,
syncs, blah
Oh,
blah
yeah.
blah. All
Yeah.
these, it shows success, like it's pop star, you were successful.
mm,
But again,
It
I
doesn't mean you
feel
were talented.
yeah.
Doesn't like there's lots of
mm,
negative
Yeah.
connotation, especially boy band pop star.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not like Michael Jackson. That's a pop star. That's like,
yeah,
And I feel like
yeah,
little do people know, and I can 100% speak on 98 Degrees because I was in the room with them all the time.
hmm
Uh, some of the hardest workers. I mean, it's not
Oh
it's
yeah.
not easy to sell, you know, or go multi-platinum. I don't even know how many
No.
records
Oh
that
my
is. I
gosh,
mean,
not at
that's
all.
huge. So I do think it's just like anything. Like here we go
Yeah.
back to the label thing where it's like it has the good and it has the bad, and then you gotta, kind of decide
Yeah.
how you're gonna take it.
That's
Cool.
why I wanted to play. Thank you for playing this. You
I
both
love your game. I love it.
Wow, you both win an awesome show in New York City that everybody should go see. But it's been on my mind, Drew, when I found out we were going to be talking because I read my friend Emma Straub wrote a book called American Fantasy. I don't know if you've heard of it or read it.
well now,
Yeah.
Check it out because it's a
Okay.
super fun ride. It's, a woman goes on like a boy band cruise and is like connects with herself. But
Yeah.
the way she kind of gives voice to like how hardworking these
Yeah.
members were and like the
Yeah.
research she did, it was very fascinating to me because
Mhm.
I don't know, I feel like going through that at such a young age, and obviously you were there too, it's like it probably shapes the way you think about kindness. And I don't know, I think it's so cool where you are now and how you're
Yeah.
working on this now, having gone through that big machine at that time. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
obvious
The
even in
big machine.
I do think that,
yeah.
the it's you're definitely gonna learn more from failures than you are from success.
Yeah.
You're going to learn what
Mm.
not to do and how to adjust. And humility is a great
Yeah.
teaching tool. In being humbled. Thinking, oh, we're going to sell millions of records for our entire
Forever.
lives, and
Yeah.
we're gonna decide when we don't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, music has changed, radio changed. And we're fortunate that we have fans that have literally stuck by us for 30 years now.
Mm,
So I feel very fortunate and blessed by that. But there is a lot that goes into it that people don't necessarily see. But to
yeah.
to say that, our music got somebody through a very difficult time, the a death in the family or things like that, or even just a hard breakup in high school, you know, that's something that's I
Big
carry
deal.
as a
Yeah.
badge of honor. You're like,
Yeah.
I was a part of somebody's life and helped them through a situation, even though I'd never met them before. Um,
Mm,
so there's a lot great that I can take away from pop star as
yeah.
well. It's not
That's a
all
Yes.
negative.
Yeah.
superpower.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a gift. And you've both done that in so many different ways over the years. And I guess shifting through those years, you've been married, spoiler alert. You raised a family, you
Yeah.
run a nonprofit, and now you're creating the show together. What's one thing you understand about each other today that you didn't understand when you first met? Having gone through all
Oh.
these rings together.
Well, you don't God, I'm gonna answer it not that way. I'm gonna answer it the other way. I think our relationship worked because, and I don't know how we knew this, but from young on, we lifted each other up and we supported each other in the sense of there wasn't the typical in your 20s. Where are you going? What do you mean you're moving to LA? What do you mean you're doing a show? What do you mean you're going out on the road? It was we get it. Like we understand, and we were always there for each other. Um and supported like all the dreams, right?
Mm,
So it was like, I knew that I could always come to Drew and say, I've got this crazy idea. Like, what do you think about this? And it was like, I don't think that's crazy. Let's try and figure out how to do this, and vice
love
versa.
that.
So
Yeah.
I think that's why we are still together. But if it's
Mm.
I'm trying to think of something that I mean, we've been together a long time, Robert. Like a long time.
I
So
love that. Would
I
you say
don't
25 years? You're a quarter. I
20
We've
think that's
been
great.
married we've been together for 34.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, high school sweetheart. So I don't know if there's a lot that I
Right?
don't know about it.
34.
That's
Like, I'm like,
that's
what am I
that's a winner right there. That's the
yeah,
going back to the word winner. I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, as I said, I've already won at life, but I think,
yeah,
when you find person that you're in love with at 16, you do so much maturing together if you're open to it. That you kind of become the best team together. Um,
Mm.
could either of us accomplish things separate from the other one? Of course, we both have, but I do feel like our strength
It's together.
is as a pair. I mean,
Oh,
we know how to lift each other up. We know when to shut up. We know when to
yeah.
We do.
when we have to hunker
That's an
down. We know
important
we have to be a
quality.
cheerleader.
Yeah.
And I feel like all that is based off of a mutual respect too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not one person feeling like they're higher on the food chain than another person. It's you come at it as a partnership.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I feel like that is kind of the core of
Mhm.
what we've done.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Your kids are so lucky to have you. Because I'm reading all these books now that are saying, like, people think you prioritize the kid, which it is a priority, but you're really
Oh,
always supposed to prioritize each other
Yeah.
and
yeah.
lead by example, like
Yeah.
you have said this whole time.
Yes.
That's
Important.
beautiful. That's so
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that.
But kids will take all your time.
Yeah,
They
but
will
you will
take
have your time,
Okay.
Robert, and
Okay.
you need to,
yeah.
sleep
I
like a
know,
king.
I'm getting ready. I'm trying to sleep now. I've already been buying tons of stuffed animals. I don't know why. They're probably for me, honestly. And I've just
Yes.
been, I'm gonna go see Toy Story 5. Baby's not even here yet, but
Oh,
that's all right. I'm
that's
excited.
okay. That's all right.
I and I'm so excited to see this show. I'm so excited for the both of you. You have a nice long run, I think, through August. Is
Yes.
that
Yeah.
correct?
Yep.
August 29th.
And what's your hope? Is your hope to just keep like continuing it,
Oh, yeah.
extend the run? Like, what's your ultimate goal?
I mean, I think it's extend the run. I think it's another run. I think the West End, we would love to film it. We would love to tour it. We would love
Yeah.
to have brands come on board. And I mean, to me, it's all about love. So
Mm,
I feel like it will live on forever.
Yeah, I think for us, it's a lot of people say this, but we feel like labels really truly can be a movement.
Yeah.
Where it can be the way people go through their life. Oh, it's like you go through your life, you carry this adjective to what you are. You're all these things, but you're
mm,
also labelless. So I feel like it really does have a potential to have a life well beyond a theatrical
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
or a tour or any of these things where it can become, something that people carry with them.
mm.
But we've always said that a tour and getting the show to people
Yeah.
that can't necessarily come
Yeah.
to New York,
Yeah.
getting it to all the corners of the country, or the world, that's something that we're pretty passionate about, and we want to make sure that happens too.
Oh,
World
yeah.
domination. That's what we
Yes,
want.
please. Because you really no, you did, but with kindness and
Oh,
spreading a
with
good
kindness.
message.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. That I want to see a villain that's just like super kind. I guess that's despicable me. Okay, sorry, Rob, gotta go. But I would love to see this spread around because we need stories like this. And I thank you. And as we end our time together, I would just love if each of you could share a tangible kindness tip. So something you would like for everybody out there listening right now to do on their own corner of the world to try and make the world a little brighter.
I mean, mine is the simplest thing, and I was just saying this to my son the other day. Just smile at people. Like,
Mm,
when you're checking out, smile. Give someone I mean, that can literally change someone's day completely.
yeah.
And it's the simplest thing, and it takes no time, takes 0 effort,
Change their
and
entire
it can
day.
change somebody's day.
Yeah.
And I
I love
I
that.
uh, unfortunately have to say the same thing because it happened to me the other day. I was walking into a store in Midtown and I turned and looked and I said hello to the security guard and I just said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And he stopped me and he said, "Can I
Mm.
tell you something?" And I said, "Yes." Said, "You're the first person in many years in this position that has ever said hello to me and asked me how I've been doing." And it like
In years.
I held on to that. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I couldn't even focus because and I turned back to him and I said, "Well, it's the simple things that we can do." And he said,
Yeah.
"Thank you so much. You changed my whole day." And it just
Wow.
like that. Like I never
Thank you
just
for doing
didn't
that.
know him. And so I agree. I think that it's simple things, looking somebody in the eye.
It's so important. Isn't it funny how "Hi, how are you" has just become one word too, and it's like we don't
Yeah.
even actually wait for the real answer. It's like
Right.
if you don't say "good," you're a little unhinged. If you're
Yeah.
like, "Actually, it's not a great," it's
Well,
like Wait, but you actually asked me.
Yeah.
So, smile at someone, really ask somebody that. I think those are beautiful reminders. And I just think you're both such special people, a power duo that we need to keep creating art because you're creating a movement, like you said. And I feel very grateful that we have you to look up to in this industry. So thanks for
Thank
being
you,
you.
Robert. I
Drew,
appreciate it. Thank you
this
for
was
having us.
so fun. Thank you so
Yay.
much.
I'm so glad you thought so.
Until next time, remember, everything is going to be A-OK.